finishing up on Wednesday's practice and kind of getting preparation ready for UCLA. You know, the tremendous quarterback. The running back's done a great job. I think he had like 190 yards last week rushing, so that makes it a pretty balanced look. And you know, the big thing we're trying to focus on is what they do, but how we do what we're doing. I think we made some strides last week, and I think that's the biggest thing. We got to continue the process of growing and gaining ground and doing the little things.
Did you like the progress you guys made last week?
I thought, other than probably 2 plays during the course of the game, that we did some things that we needed to do, and I think the big thing is the attention to detail with age and with experience is getting better.
Now you suffered a couple more personnel losses in your secondary, but you might get a couple guys back with some experience. Are you hopeful that unit's about ready to sort to come together?
You know, the one thing that is tough as the injuries have been on us, it's allowed us to gain next guy up attitude and develop some people. And I think that's a big thing, that the only way we can look at it is next guy up. And then when we get the guys back, you know, with Stephen and those guys, that it makes a lot of difference that now we've developed some depth.
Can you talk about Noah Westerfield? It looks like he's going to have his opportunity possibly on Saturday.
You know, Noah's done a tremendous job of as a freshman. Number one, I think he was like 205 pounds on his visit in January, and then he was like 225 when he got here in June, and then he was 240 by the time we started. And the big thing with him, he's been coached very well in high school, but his business approach to thing, and I think that's the biggest thing that has helped Noah, is his maturity level and you know, in the ball he played in high school, and we're excited about his future.
We talked to him yesterday, and he was quite confident. He's excited about his opportunity, but he's really confident. Feels like he's ready.
I think that you know, the biggest thing that I can say about him, he is confident. He's going to make his mistakes, but he's played enough now that he knows what we're doing. He's a smart player. He's a young player, but he's a smart guy for his age and the lack of experience he's got. He makes up with intelligence.
When you signed him, like you said, he was only 200 and some odd pounds,
right.
More linebacker than defensive end at that point. Could you have predicted at that point that he would? Obviously, Scarlett being out, but would you have predicted that he'd be ready to start?
You know, you look at guys and you say, hey, if I said player A would play and the player B would redshirt, you don't ever know till they get there and how they adapt from being away from home and those type things. But I don't think you would have ever thought he would have played, much less played as much as he's played and probably going to play. And I think the biggest thing is when you sign high school kids is how much more are they going to grow. And that could mean height, that could mean weight. And obviously with him, I thought he had a chance after meeting him and being around him that he would get bigger, but I didn't know he would get bigger as fast as he did.
Well, recruiting, it seemed like he was kind of under the radar because he had messed up his hand fairly early in the season. When did you become aware of him?
When I got here in January, and he was one of the first guys that I went to see. And you know, when I walked in the door and saw him, I knew he had the frame, and I knew he'd be what we wanted. I just didn't know when he would be and when he would be heavy enough, and that's been a pleasant surprise.
How soon after getting the job did you see him?
I saw him probably within 7 days, you know, or maybe like I came in on say middle of the week or Monday, Tuesday, whatever, and I may have seen him that weekend. He may have been on an official visit that weekend, so it was right away. And I knew when I saw him and had seen his film and then met his family and where he comes from, that made a lot of difference.
So he was already being recruited by the time you got here.
Right. He was already being recruited.
Have you seen many guys be able to put on that much weight that's constructive weight and strength?
You know, normally you see guys that gain weight, but not very often do you see that. And the other thing is he's got really good strength level. He's been in a good weight program through his high school career, so his strength level was good, and with the weight gain, you know, it even improved more.
Is it just a situation where his frame can handle it at this stage of his development?
Right.
I guess he played basketball last year and he wanted to stay slim for that. Right. So this is more of his natural weight than the other?
Probably so, and probably he never really knew what it was because he was always running all the time, you know, between basketball and football and just run. And then finally, you know, by the time you're 18 years old, or, you know, especially if they're young guys, they got a chance to even grow more. If he was a young 17-year-old, and didn't turn 18 till his summer, then all of a sudden he starts spreading out.
Right. You talked about Hundley a minute ago. He's a guy who can run and can make you look foolish if you're not containing him, but he gets sacked a lot. How do you?
I think the big thing is we've got to do some different things to get pressure on him, and he's been sacked, but some of it, you know, may have been coverage sacks, some of it may have been, you know, protection, and but he does a tremendous job of getting getting the ball off and know what he's doing when things are working in his favor. He's an experienced guy. I mean, he's a tremendous player.
He's very, very accurate. He's, I think, thrown at like 72%.
72.2.
Yeah. How do you?
I think the big
him?
thing is we've got to try to do some things to make him hold the ball when we can, and then make him throw it maybe where he doesn't want to, or make him make good throws. I think that's the biggest key.
How about their running game? Apart from Hundley, who runs plenty himself, Perkins seems like he's kind of become into his own.
No good question. I think he's had right at 100 yards in every game, maybe in high 90s, but he's had right at 100 yards. And in the last game, I think he had 190, and he's a tremendous back. And a lot of what helps him is their quarterback in their throwing games. People start playing that, and then all of a sudden they hand it off to him, and it makes it
style
tough.
as a runner?
To me, he sticks it up in there north and south. When I look at the plays that he made against Oregon, like he gets the ball on one play and a guy's got a chance to tackle him within 2 steps of having the ball, and he's able to get that guy, slip that guy, and then he sticks it downhill. And that's the big thing, I think, is he's a slash back that sticks it downhill, and you've got to get him before he gets going.
Is that something you guys are equipped, you think, to handle? Because you said before that the run game is kind of the strength of this game.
Well, and I think that's a big thing. This will be a big challenge. I think he's probably the best running back that we've seen thus far this season, and I think that we were able to handle Arizona, but it's a different type of offense than what Arizona had, and I think this will be a big challenge for us, and one that I've talked to our players about. We got to take care of.